Can you guys believe it? We are already to March of 2025. Luckily, that just means more books for us to enjoy. So here are some of the books that I'm looking forward to that come out this March. First up is Wild Dark Shore. I have been hearing nothing but amazing reviews about this book. I actually have not read this author before, but I feel like after I check out this book, I'm definitely going to try out some of her backlist if I like it. It sounds super atmospheric, kind of like Adrienne Young. And this book is supposed to blend like literary fiction, romance, mystery, and thriller aspects into it, and a bit of like dystopian climate fiction as well. So from the publisher's description, it's a novel of breathtaking twists, dizzying beauty, and ferocious love. Wild Dark Shore is about the impossible choices that we make to protect the people we love, even as the world around us disappears. So a woman is supposed to wash ashore this remote island that this father and his kids take care of. So the family decides to nurse her back to health, and she's fitting in really well, but they kind of have to figure out if she is worth trusting. She has to figure out if they're worth trusting because they might have some dark secrets. All the while, sea levels are rising and a giant storm is heading their way. So that comes out March 4th, and I'm really excited for that one. Also coming out on March 4th is Fable for the End of the World. So this one is billed as The Last of Us meets The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in the standalone dystopian romance about survival, sacrifice, and love that risks everything. A young woman helps to run a taxidermy shop, but she ends up having to participate in a Hunger Games type of competition in order to help get her family out of debt. And her love interest in this book is supposed to be someone who like assassinates the people in this competition. So I'm here for it, and it's by Ava Reed. Also out on March 4th is Promise Me Sunshine. I've already read the arc of this book, and it was absolutely amazing. It was a 5-star read for me. If you want to read my review of this book, you can head to the description for the link. Grieving the loss of her best friend, a young woman's life is turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears that he can help her live again in this heartwarming slow burn romance. It was a slow burn, but it was absolutely worth it. Definitely check it out. Coming out on March 11th is Dream Hotel, which is a sci-fi dystopian novel. A woman's fight for freedom set in a near future where even dreams are under surveillance. So a woman is pulled aside at LAX because she is at risk of harming her husband. That's according to the authorities who are surveilling the dreams that she's had. So now she has to try to prove her innocence. For me, with the whole like dystopian aspect, surveilling dreams, this kind of like technology, sci-fi, it's sort of giving me like Blake Crouch vibes. So I'm really interested in that one. One book I feel like is kind of intriguing is Idle Fire. So it's supposed to be a sapphic romantasy, but it's a road trip, and it's inspired by the fall of Rome. So you've got one woman on one side of the world. Her family has always looked at her as a mistake, and so she is trying to prove them wrong. And you've got another woman on the other side of the world, and she's searching for redemption after an ancient curse tore her life apart. So it's part history, it's part science fantasy, part slow burn romance, and there's sword fights. So I'm interested. Now I'm going to talk about a paranormal romance fan service. A woman runs an online fan forum for this like popular werewolf show. The guy who starred on that show evidently was rude to her, and so she really does not like him at all. But when he starts to develop these werewolf tendencies, he enlists her help because she's also basically like a historian of the supernatural lore that the show was based on. So she's like really the only person who can help him. I really enjoyed Bride, another paranormal romance, so I'm kind of interested in this. I might try the audiobook and see how it works out. Killer Potential is a debut that has really high interest for it. This debut is billed as like a darkly funny thriller. In this one, a woman graduates from university, but she is drowning in debt, so she becomes an SAT tutor. One day when she shows up to the house, the rich parents who live there are brutally murdered. She ends up finding this woman who's tied up in the home. She unties her and they take off, but they end up becoming suspects and then fugitives for the murder of these parents. So I think it's supposed to be kind of like a Thelma and Louise type of situation. Now this book went to auction in order for a publisher to get the rights, and then there was a multi-studio bidding war in order to secure the rights to try to turn this into a TV series, which Universal now has. So high expectations for this one. I'm really interested in it, and I think it could make an interesting TV show one day as well. And finally, we've got When the Moon Hits Your Eye, which is supposed to be a really humorous look at what if the moon ended up turning into a wheel of cheese. And like, how would that play out? So for me, that sounds so unserious and so amazing. I absolutely have to check it out. Please go ahead and go to the comments. Let me know which books you are looking forward to that come out this March. Thanks for watching.